Hello and welcome to the Venue Pro podcast. Thanks again for joining us. Today, we're very lucky to be joined by Gabriel Dantur, who's been general manager at the Movistar Arena in Buenos Aires for the last 5 years. Today, we're going to be discussing how Gabriel and the team balance delivering guest experiences with operating a safe and efficient 15,000 seat venue. So, Gabriel, thanks so much for joining us today. It's great to see you.
Oh, thank you for having me here and having me in the show. And it's nice to be here.
Thank you very much. So just to get us started, could you just provide a bit of background as to your experience and your career to date and how you got into venue management?
Well, yes. I mean, I guess I got into venue management because I worked in a company that basically decided to invest in venues. So I work in a media company. It's called La Nación. It's basically a very old and traditional newspaper that turned out to be a very successful digital media company too. So I work in the digital part of it. And the company had the chance to invest in creating probably the only world-class venue in Buenos Aires. And the first thing they did was they partnered with AEG for them to manage the venue because as a group, we didn't have any experience at all. So basically, the board thought that they should bring along someone experienced in managing venues. And then after the pandemic or in the middle of the pandemic, they didn't feel very comfortable or they felt that they could do the job differently. So I was part of a group and they asked me to join or to leave my job. I was working in the digital business of the company and moving as a general manager of the arena. So I would say I had no former experience in terms of production, music, or whatsoever. Yeah, maybe as a fan, not as a manager. And that's the story. So I guess I learned from scratch.
Well, you're obviously doing a good job. You've been there for 5 years, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you. Yes, I guess we're doing a good job. I mean, when you look at the numbers, at the KPIs, and basically, I guess that we're doing a very good job. And I will say that it was easy because everything was new for Argentina, especially for Buenos Aires. I mean, Buenos Aires is a very large city. Buenos Aires and metropolitan area is about 20 million people. And it's a city renowned for the fandom and for shows and everything. And we didn't have an arena, an indoor arena. Basically, music was outdoor stadiums. So we stepped in, providing a new experience altogether, which is basically treating people well and providing a different experience. So I guess probably that was good for us. And we were so different from the rest of the offer that provide us a head start.
Yeah, amazing. And what type of kind of events take place in Movistar Arena? Can you just give a bit of an overview of how you operate and what events take place?
Yes, I mean, we basically do music events, and I will say we do music events and then we do family shows. So I separate in between music events and family shows. At the end of the day, still music, but when I mean family shows, I mean Disney on Ice, and we have a couple more of those. The big difference is in music, usually the leitmotif, or it's a band, and in the family show, it's like children going, and the average ticket price is lower and everything. We don't do sports, even though we're prepared to. Indoor sports are not, I mean, we're not the typical US model where you have, your ice hockey and your basketball together with the music. So we don't have regular sports. And we can do tennis exhibitions, or we can do, like special things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look very profitable in the sense of the ATP that you can get out of those shows. And the other thing is right now we're super packed in terms of calendar. And usually those things take lots of days of setup. And at the end of the day, as I said before, they don't look very profitable. And we do private shows or private events, if I may say. So private are anything that don't sell tickets. So you hire the arena and you do whatever you want in there, but you don't sell tickets. So that's basically what we do.
Okay, no, that's great. Makes sense. And what about your own kind of remit? What is your what are you focused on kind of day to day? Is it the operational delivery, strategic planning, event programming, or do you get involved in everything?
I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I guess everything. So, and basically everything, because as I said before, we started with no previous knowledge and with no previous experience. And basically started we started like saying, okay, the only thing I'm going to do is to rent the arena, and then we integrated things, and we're very strong. For example, when it comes to sponsorship, basically our legacy. We're a media company, so I will say that probably one of our strengths is to sell to companies. So we did a lot of sponsorships. We have a lot of sponsors, and we're doing very well in there. And then again, premium seating. We started selling premium seating ourselves. So we have 34 boxes fully sold, and we have 3 VIP lounges, which are fully sold, and we sell those for a year with annual purchases. So, and then we started to integrate technical things. And then we took over the F&B because the company we hired to do it was not very good at all. And then we have our own ticketing system, and so I guess probably every part of the business I kind of involved in. So I basically do lots of things, and probably operational, but then the relationship with promoters as well. So I guess basically everything.
Yeah, and I guess it's good to be in that position when, especially if you're fairly new to the industry, to be able to get hands-on and really understand what each department does, how the whole venue operates. I guess you need to have that learning. So that's great. And in terms of kind of, as you know so much about each aspect of the business, what would you say are the main operational challenges you face, and what are the main kind of your biggest pain points, whether it's day-to-day venue management or on event day itself?
Okay, I would say that probably neither. I would say that the pain point that we're facing right now is probably because of our success. And once again, I don't mean to brag, but we will be doing this year 248 events. Wow. That means 222 days of operation, and operation, I mean with people inside of the arena. Besides that, you have the setup days, which I'm not counting in the 222. So I will say that definitely the biggest pain point is arranging all those events and back-to-back operations. And then again, when you think of events and then you think of the setups and everything that they do in terms of scenery, screens, sound, lights, they get more complicated each time. So by all means, the most complicated part of our work in terms of operational work is number one, deciding who comes to the arena on those days, because basically, as I said before, we are the only arena in Buenos Aires. There was another one which is called Luna Park, which right now is closed because of refurbishment. So we have a lot of demand, and pain point definitely is putting everything together so that we can safely do the jobs, safely do the shows. Then there are operational pain points in terms of people, letting in people, queues, how you manage shows in which you have a lot of promotional activities inside of the arena, and you don't want to bother the neighbors. We are a very urban arena. I mean, we're kind of in the middle of the city, so we have to be super careful when it comes to queues outside of the arena, and even the behavior of the people outside of the arena, because we do believe that the neighborhood is basically all the arena, and that's kind of a challenge too. I don't know, painful, but yes, it is a challenge. So when you said in terms of in the show day, I would say that probably the 2 hours before the show, which is when we open the doors, are a big challenge for us, because we want the people to get in quickly. We want the people to buy as much as they can in F&B, and we don't want to mess around with the neighborhood.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, I guess that's one of my questions as well, in terms of getting 15,000 people through your doors. And I guess some events will be completely different demographics from one day to the next. You know, you could have a family event, and then you could have a pop act, or a concert. So how do you kind of get that balance between, making it very safe, making it very efficient, minimizing queuing, etc., but also making sure that everyone's very, very secure, and gets a good positive guest experience?
Well, I guess pre-planning is key. I mean, pre-planning when it comes to safety is key of everything, like trying to understand basically the demographics and the kind of behavior you will expect from the fans going to certain show. So that's something that we do. We have a guest services team that pre-plans everything, and we work a lot together with the government and the agencies of the government involved. But I will say that whenever it comes to safety and whenever it comes to make people comfortable, overstaffing is kind of my answer. Like, if you don't know what's going to happen, like, overstaff and be sure that you have more resources than needed. Yeah. So that's basically what we do. And as I said, pre-planning, overstaffing, and trying to figure things out before, and learning from the mistakes we made in the past. But every show is kind of different. We try to categorize them in tiers regarding people behavior, because sometimes, for example, you will go like, oh, this is teenagers shows. It's not very dangerous or whatsoever. And at the end of the day, probably teenagers or super, like Lewis Tomlinson fans. Well, those are, at the end of the day, in terms of safety and in terms of precautions that you may take, they are the more complicated, because they are young, and they camp outside of the arena, and they have kind of hysterical behaviors and whatsoever. But yes, I mean, planning, I guess, pre-planning is the key in there, and not taking anything for granted. So
yeah, absolutely. Good advice. And do you use much in the way of technology? I'm guessing, because you've been in the business for the last 5 years, I'm assuming you have a lot of technology in the arena anyway. And is technology something you use to help with operations, security, planning?
Yes, I think that we're kind of halfway in there. So I mean, when you say technology, there are lots of things related to. So I would say that right now we're using good standard technology. I will like to increase that a notch, like have more things, like, for example, access control. We let in people, 15,000 people in 2 hours, and it works. We're looking forward to, for example, face recognition instead of QRs. So that's one thing that I'm looking right now, which is I'm not 100% happy with the way people get into the arena, because basically they have to take out their phones. We're doing e-tickets right now, 100% e-tickets. So when you have an older crowd, it's like not. I mean, it's efficient, because at the end of the day, you get the people in. But I would like to have something that works more smoothly. So technology in there. When it comes to technology, for example, in terms of crowd management or in terms of security, we're right now introducing cameras, like people counting, trying to understand, for example, the transition in between corridors and actually when you sit down, because the first thing that we got was, okay, I have so many people inside of the arena, and the question is, where are they? So and in terms of queue, same thing. Like we're trying to introduce cameras and counting people to understand the best way that we can manage the queues outside of F&B. So that's one package of technology that I think that we need to improve, which is access control. Then, I mean, it's not on the day and not on the operation of the venue, but in the ticketing system, I think that we should upgrade to basically the UI of the whole ticketing system. Like when you choose your tickets, the maps, what helps you and what makes it. I always think of buying a ticket as than something compared to a root canal, like going to the dentist, because no matter what you do, it's going to be painful. So basically, I think that technology in there will help. We're trying to introduce technology there. When I mean technology, fraud prevention, because we have lots of frauds with credit cards and things and stuff. And when it comes to arena in itself, the other thing that I will be looking forward probably first semester next year is introducing technology in terms of F&B. I mean, I want to be as cashless as I can, and I want to be as self-serve as I can, like totems and everything. Waiting lines in front of a cashier is something that we should improve. Pre-buying, whatever. So there's technology in there too. And that is, well, and then we are introducing technology too in terms of whatever goes on the stage, which is basically technical production. We just invested somewhere around $5 million in a sound system. We're doing the sound ourselves, and we have a very good partner when it comes to video and the lights too. So I think that definitely providing that kind of technology is something interesting that we should do.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, sounds like you're going to be busy over the next couple of years.
Yes. We've been very busy. So actually, I started on August 2020, was the pandemic. In our first show, we did stream. And one of the things that happens is that this arena was opened on November 2019, on the 1st of November. So that was the first show. And they, because I was not there, did 23 shows. And after that, we came to complete stop because of the pandemic. And that stop was kind of super harmful because it was not even in the middle, in the beginning of the learning curve. So we were starting to understand how to run the place, and then we had to stop. And after that, we did streaming and whatsoever. And today, we will be finishing the year with almost 2.1 million tickets sold. So if you put the complimentary tickets and the premium seating, which are not sold tickets, they are annually sold, probably we will be having around 2.4 people coming into the arena. So, and that in 5 years. So we did a lot, but still a lot to be done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that kind of answers my next question, which is, how do you think things will evolve over the next few years? But it sounds like there's lots to do still, even though you've had huge success. Do you think there's room to kind of put on more types of shows? Can you still increase the capacity or the footfall anyway?
We are increasing the capacity, not so much. We are increasing in about 270 seats, the seated capacity. And luckily, physical loss. We cannot increase more than that. So we will be nearing 16,000 people standing up and with a premium seating altogether. So that's in terms of increasing capacity. In terms of more shows, I guess that we are kind of in the limit. I think that 240 shows a year is something like it's a good number. The only way I can do more shows is we usually do a break in January, which is our summer month. But to do things in the arena, I mean, we close in January because there are works to be done and we need to close. So I don't think that we can go on top of 240. Actually, I think that 240 is a very good number. Probably once we get competition, which probably we will, because you cannot be alone in the market for a long time, probably facing competition, that number will come down a little bit. But I guess that we are in our upper limit in terms of the shows that we do and in capacity. Probably what we can do is we can have a better mix of the shows, but that doesn't depend 100% on us. I mean, we have the promoters on one side, and then you have the world providing tours, which you don't 100% control. So at the end of the day, those 240 shows, which basically are 180 music shows, which happen at night, and then somewhere around 50 to 60 family shows, depend not only on me. So I don't think that I can do a lot in terms of handling that. So I guess in terms of operation, whatever remains to be done is to be more efficient and better and provide more service. And basically through providing more service or provide a better value proposition, understanding if there are some revenue areas that we can tap in that we haven't before. So that's pretty much.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, it sounds like you're incredibly busy, and it's been a massive success story. So congratulations to you and the team. Finally, this question I always ask. I think for you, maybe I ask it slightly differently, but it's really just about if you give any advice or insights that you'd like to share with the future generation of event managers or venue managers coming through. But actually, maybe we position it as in what advice would you give to yourself 5 years ago when you were first starting out with the Movistar Arena? What have you learned since then that you'd like to share with your younger self?
Basically, what I would say to myself is, if anything can go wrong, will go wrong. So prepare yourself. So prepare for the bad news and expect good news. So that's one thing, and the other thing is understand that teamwork is essential, and the closer every part of your arena works, the better. And I would say probably that's the one thing I understood. And then kind of the butterfly effect, which is sometimes you don't take in account that making some changes will impact otherwise. So that's one thing that I learned the hard way. But basically that's a thing. And the other one thing is that people go always first. People experience, and at the end of the day, if someone will ask me why are we so successful? And once again, sorry if I'm bragging, but I do believe that we are successful and we've been successful. It's basically because people want to come to the arena. And I will say probably promoters or artists will kill me, of course, because of what's happening, but because the arena in itself is a good program. So, and I remember once I went to a doctor and he told me, "Oh, you work in Movistar Arena?" I said, "Yes." Well, because of Movistar Arena, I was able to allow my 15-year-old son to go back to music shows, because before I didn't, because I feel safe and he feels great and everything. So I would say that probably the advice is try to put in your mind whatever is best for the people coming before whatever is best for you, because at the end of the day, that will provide, I guess, the value proposition you need, that people will come.
Yeah, that's great advice. Really, really good. But yeah, thank you, Gabriel, for that. That brings us to the end of today's episode. So really, really interesting and fascinating look into the world of venue and event management through the lens of Movistar Arena and through the lens of Gabriel's perspective as well. So thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you, spend some time chatting, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Okay, thank you so much again for having me. Sorry for my English, and yes, I do expect to chat again with you sometime. So
thank you. Your English is very good.
Okay, thank you. Bye.